Good morning, everybody. My name is Stefan Demetropoulos, and I will be presenting on combating the effects of fatigue in the construction industry. So fatigue affects the construction industry in a few ways: safety, productivity, work-life balance, and your bottom line on the construction jobs. So years of data and research have found many issues within the construction industry. Some of the problems in the industry are decline in the skilled workforce, inadequate safety knowledge, hazard identification, lack of advanced technology, and fatigue. All of these issues have been linked to negative effects on construction productivity and have been studied immensely, except for fatigue. The advances in knowledge and research for these topics have led to many solutions and trainings. These advancements, while they have made the job site safer, are still leaving construction as the most hazardous profession of 2021. They also have not fixed any issues when considering construction productivity. Fatigue is a major part of our everyday lives that affects performances on and off the job site. Fatigue can have negative looming effects for hours, which would be considered acute fatigue, or even sometimes months, which is chronic fatigue. It can also be mental or physical. Each version has slightly different effects on the individual until either mental or physical fatigue has taken over the individual in their entirety and begins affecting the other. Fatigue is also known to impact most of the construction industry problems, such as negative turnover rates or burnouts, hazard identification, job site work performance, and other issues that affect safety and production rates. Fatigue happens with everyone at some point in time, but I mean, the question is, how do you combat fatigue if we all experience it? So it's unrealistic to think that fatigue is just an issue that we can simply fix and it'll go away. We all have lives outside of work that we want to live and need to stay employed in order to live our lives to the fullest. So perhaps a simple explanation as to why the topic of fatigue is generally avoided when researching construction development is because there isn't a way around it. But construction is known for its well-instilled traditions: hard work, early mornings, long days, and often working weekends as needed. Researching fatigue after that construction description sounds like a waste of time. However, there are still ways to combat fatigue and ensure workers' safety and increase project productivity. So the objectives of the research is to understand fatigue and the effects of it on construction workers, to better identify the safety and productivity related issues that stem from fatigue. And objective 2 is to develop a plan to combat fatigue based on other industry practices through research analysis and hypothesis testing. So I've developed a little bit of an experiment. We want to use a controlled environment and test our objectives, or research our objectives. But objective 1 will follow pre-developed research and compare results from interviews and surveys against previous research. In addition to this, studies will be performed to measure fatigue using EEG sensors. These studies will show researchers when individuals are fatigued. Researchers will examine the subjects through this fatigue and use industry estimates to quantify productivity while also monitoring the safety and awareness of each worker. To develop this research, we want to have 3 separate experiments in a controlled environment, utilizing like a large warehouse facility or something. Maintain a constant temperature and weather. The team will have 3 teams build 3 homes, and each home will be completely identical, and each team will have nearly identical productivity rates to kind of minimize any differences in the experiments. The first team, one of the teams will split up into 2 different teams and run 4 work days per week at 10 hours. with that last day of your work week overlapping with the new team onboarding. The second crew will do the same, split up into 2 teams, but they'll work 8-hour days. And then the third crew will work a traditional 5-day work week, 8-hour days. And then we'll use the results to compare and kind of figure out what's the best way to combat fatigue, increase productivity, while also monitoring safety and things of that nature. So we're going to collect data, obviously, with the use of the EEG. You can put those in the construction workers' helmets, hook them up to the brain. These measure things like heart rate, neurologic transmissions and stuff. They're really good at testing for fatigue. And then we'll have standard interviews with everybody that'll be conducted each day. And then we'll compare productivity rates and on the ground, researchers will observe the workers for safety and stuff like that. So the impact of this research I think will be significant. This research can help develop a new standard for the construction industry that focuses on the safety and productivity of our workers in a way that has not been used before. Combating fatigue is not only improving safety and productivity, but will also improve workers' lives outside of work. If the hypothesis is correct and a different work schedule is more useful to workers in combating fatigue and increasing productivity and safety, and we can implement that into the real world systems, workers will have more personal time that can be used for rest and relaxation, family time, vacationing, personal days, etc. All of these options will increase health and morale while decreasing burnout and turnover in our industry. This will help alleviate a bigger issue the industry currently faces, which is the skilled force work shortage. So I appreciate all of you listening, and I'd love to hear back. So please leave a comment below. Thank you.